A magnetic woman doesn't chase what's meant for her. She doesn't run after love, attention, or validation, because she's learned that what truly belongs to her is drawn by the energy she carries, not by the effort she performs. Have you ever met someone who didn't need to say much, yet everyone in the room felt their presence? That's not luck, that's alignment. A quiet, confident knowing that radiates without a single word. The truth is, she wasn't born this way. She became this way slowly, deliberately, through the sacred act of remembering who she really is. For years, she tried to be everything to everyone. She smiled when she wanted to cry. She gave more than she received. She chased approval like it was air, believing that if she could just be good enough, kind enough, beautiful enough, she'd finally feel safe, seen, loved. But that path only left her emptier. She realized one day that outside validation is a counterfeit form of power, sweet for a moment, but gone just as fast. It keeps you in a loop of performing, proving, and pleasing, never realizing you were already worthy all along. That moment became her awakening. The day she decided to stop begging for crumbs and start building her own table. The magnetic woman didn't find her power in perfection, she found it in truth. She began unlearning everything the world taught her about worth. She stopped performing for love and started practicing self-respect. She stopped trying to fit in and started standing out. She stopped asking for permission to shine and gave herself full approval to be exactly who she is. That decision, to choose herself, was the beginning of everything. She learned that her energy is her currency, her power, her empire, and every thought, every emotion, every belief either expands it or drains it. So she became intentional. Each morning, she sits in stillness, breathing deeply, connecting to her center. She no longer rushes into the noise of the world. Instead, she sets her frequency, calm, grounded, radiant, because she knows that her reality mirrors her inner state. If she feels anxious, she attracts chaos. If she feels peace, she attracts alignment. Energy doesn't lie. It speaks before she does. And the more she learns to regulate her energy, the more magnetic she becomes. Her calm is not weakness. Her silence is not absence. It's strength disguised as serenity. It's power in pure form. There was a time she feared losing people who couldn't meet her depth. Now, she's learned that not everyone deserves access to her energy. She doesn't give her peace away to prove her loyalty. She doesn't shrink herself to make others comfortable. She has boundaries, not walls, but gates, and only those who respect her frequency are allowed in. The rest, she releases with grace, because she's learned that anything she chases will eventually control her. She no longer begs to be chosen. She chooses herself every single day. This kind of confidence isn't loud. It's not built on attention or applause. It's quiet, steady, and unshakable. It comes from a woman who has faced her darkness, met her fears, and decided to love herself anyway. She's cried the tears. She's been the one who gave too much, trusted too soon, and stayed too long. But instead of becoming bitter, she became wise. Instead of closing her heart, she made it stronger. She realized that her worth isn't something the world can give or take away. It's something she was born with. When she meditates, she isn't escaping life. She's reprogramming her nervous system. She's teaching her body how to feel safe without needing anyone's approval. Science shows that our thoughts and emotions create physical states in our body, and she's learned to master hers. When she feels gratitude, love, and joy for no reason, her brain begins to rewire itself toward those emotions. That's the secret of magnetism. You don't wait for good things to happen to feel good. You feel good first, and that energy draws in everything that matches it. The magnetic woman practices this daily. When fear arises, she doesn't run from it. She sits with it. She breathes through it. She reminds herself that fear is just a sign she's stepping into expansion. She's no longer the woman who hides from growth. She's the one who walks through the fire and comes out glowing. Because she knows that what looks like chaos is often just transformation in disguise. Every ending, every heartbreak, every loss, all of it shaped her into who she is now. A woman who no longer breaks down when life gets heavy, but breaks open. Her power is quiet. It's in the way she carries herself. Shoulders relaxed, heart open, eyes full of knowing. When she walks into a room, people feel her before she speaks. It's not her appearance that draws them in, it's her frequency. There's something about her that whispers, "I know who I am." That kind of certainty can't be faked. It's cultivated through self-awareness, boundaries, and emotional maturity. She no longer reacts to every opinion. She no longer justifies her peace. She no longer explains her standards. She lives them. She's learned that peace is not the absence of challenges. It's the presence of power. Power to choose how she responds, what she allows, and where she invests her energy. That's the essence of the high-value woman mindset, not superiority, but self-mastery. She's not competing. She's creating. She's not proving. She's embodying. She doesn't need to announce her worth. It's felt. And because she lives from that deep inner worth, she naturally attracts experiences that match it, love that honors her, friendships that uplift her, opportunities that align with her. There was a time when silence scared her. Now, it's sacred. In silence, she meets herself. In stillness, she hears her intuition, that soft voice that always knew the way. She no longer ignores it for the sake of logic or fear. She listens. She trusts. She follows. Because she's learned that intuition is the language of alignment. It's how the universe whispers directions to a heart that's finally quiet enough to hear. That's what divine feminine energy really is. Not softness alone, but a fierce calm, a sacred strength that flows, receives, and radiates without needing to control. The magnetic woman has stopped performing worth. She doesn't need to hustle for her value or overgive for love. She doesn't chase potential in others or ignore her own intuition. She's no longer available for confusion disguised as connection. She doesn't lower her standards to keep peace that costs her soul. She's learned that saying now is an act of self-respect, not rejection. She's learned that walking away is not weakness, it's wisdom. And when she lets go, she doesn't do it with anger. She does it with peace, knowing that what's meant for her cannot miss her, and what misses her was never meant to stay. She's become fluent in the language of energy. She notices how people make her feel, not just what they say. She pays attention to the pull, the tension, the vibration. She's attuned to her own frequency, so she can tell instantly when something's off. And instead of forcing alignment, she simply returns to herself. She no longer looks for healing in others. She becomes the healing. She no longer waits for permission to rest, to receive, to feel joy. She gives it to herself because she knows that alignment isn't a one-time event, it's a daily devotion. There are still moments when old patterns whisper her name, when doubt tries to creep back in, when fear pretends to protect her. But she smiles, breathes, and says, "Not this time." Because she's learned to recognize the voice of her past, and she no longer lets it write her future. Each time she chooses her vision over her history, she creates a new reality. Each time she loves herself when it's hardest, she becomes more powerful. That's the quiet revolution, the inner transformation no one sees but everyone feels. She's not trying to arrive anywhere anymore. She's already home, within herself. That's what true confidence feels like. Not needing to be chosen because you've already chosen yourself. Not needing to be understood because you finally understand yourself. Not needing to prove because your life now is the proof. She radiates that kind of calm certainty that can move mountains without saying a word. She no longer performs for the world. She simply lives as her truth. And this kind of woman, the one who's done the inner work, who's faced her shadows, who's healed her need to please, becomes unstoppable. Her energy becomes her empire. Her peace becomes her power. Her presence becomes her message. She no longer argues with doubt. She simply rises above it. She no longer fights for attention. She embodies worth. She doesn't try to be light. She remembers she already is. When love finds her now, it doesn't come to fix her or complete her. It comes to match her. It recognizes her frequency because it vibrates at the same truth, whole, grounded, and clear. She's not looking for someone to make her feel safe. She already is. She's not asking to be seen. She shines too brightly to be missed. This is what real attraction looks like, not forcing, not chasing, not controlling, but becoming so aligned, so whole, that everything that belongs to you can finally find you. She no longer asks, "Am I enough?" She asks, "Does this match my peace?" And that one question changes everything. She's become selective with her time, intentional with her energy, and fearless with her truth. Her standards are no longer a defense mechanism. They're a reflection of self-love. She's learned that when you honor yourself deeply, life honors you back. When you stop betraying your intuition, the universe stops testing your boundaries. When you stop settling, the extraordinary starts showing up. Now, people feel her before they even meet her. They can't explain it, but her energy feels different, safe, strong, real. Her calm feels contagious. Her joy feels magnetic. Her silence speaks volumes. And it's not that she's better than anyone. It's that she's fully herself. She's living in coherence, mind, heart, and soul working as one. That's alignment. That's magnetism. That's mastery. The magnetic woman is no longer at war with herself. She's not split between who she was and who she's becoming. She's integrated. She's whole. She's home. Her life isn't about seeking anymore. It's about embodying. She doesn't chase love, she radiates it. She doesn't chase success, she aligns with it. She doesn't chase peace, she becomes it. And that's why everything she once tried to force now flows effortlessly toward her. This is the power of a woman who remembers her worth, the power of healing feminine energy, the power of alignment. She's not here to impress. She's here to inspire. She's not here to compete. She's here to create. She doesn't need to be louder. Her silence already speaks truth. She doesn't need to be seen. Her energy already lights the room. She doesn't need to be perfect. Her authenticity is her magnetism. And in the end, she realizes something beautiful. She was always the one. Even when she forgot, even when she doubted, even when the world tried to convince her otherwise, she was always the one carrying the light. She doesn't wait for the world to give her a throne. She builds one within, because her truth is her crown, her presence is her power, and her energy, her pure, radiant, grounded energy, is her empire. She is not trying anymore, she's being. She's not reaching anymore, she's receiving. She's not searching for love, she's living as love. She's not waiting for the right time. She's creating it now. She doesn't need the world to recognize her, because she finally recognizes herself. And that is what makes her magnetic.